What are you worth? What's your net worth?
100 million. I had zero inspiration, bro. Nothing. No millionaires in the place I grew up. You don't want it bad enough. I was so desperate for a change that everything that would land on my lap, I would take it. People are waiting for GTA 6 to come out, but look what the f*** I'm doing.
GTA 6 in real life?
I already started playing that game. Come on, bro. I think it's time for a crazy story.
He represented a new wave of entrepreneurs, young, sharp, and wealthy. A self-made success who launched a multi-million-dollar fashion brand at just 18. A true Shopify millionaire. But then, everything fell apart, and he paid the ultimate price. Behind the flawless Instagram feed, something much darker was unfolding, something the world was never meant to see. In March 2025, Samuel Onuha's empire collapsed. He was arrested in Dubai, accused of orchestrating a global cocaine trafficking ring. Is this what happens when money and fame spiral out of control? Long before Dubai, before the Lamborghinis and the millions, there was just a boy from a quiet village in the Netherlands, Samuel Onuha, born to a Nigerian father and a Dutch mother. Growing up as a mixed-race kid in a quiet Dutch town was anything but simple. Samuel often spoke about facing racism, feeling like an outsider, and carrying a deep need to prove his worth. There was no wealth, no backup plan, no family connections, just pure determination and hunger to succeed. At just 18, while his classmates were busy with school and weekend parties, Samuel was diving into tutorials on dropshipping, Shopify, and Facebook ads, laying the groundwork for something much bigger.
I grew up quick. Also when growing up, my mom got sick often. She has a bipolar disorder. You know anything about the bipolar disorder is they turn against the people they usually love most or they care about most, you know. So even me as a little kid, I got a lot of shit on me back then. My brother, my stepfather included, went through some crazy situations with that, you know. Often police got involved, but you know, I love my mom because she is also the one that never held me back. She's a smart woman, but she knew or she saw that I wasn't the smartest in school. Of course, she tried to push me to get a degree, but as soon as I found ecom, she gave me all the freedom to pursue it.
He devoured anything that could teach him how to make money online. It began with trial and error, small wins, countless failures. But one thing was certain. Samuel was chasing the money, and he wasn't going to stop until he got it. He tested products, lost money, switched suppliers, studied copywriting, refined his designs, only to fail again and again. At one point, he was working night shifts in a warehouse, packing boxes for someone else's dream, while building his own during the day. Sleep became a luxury he could no longer afford. Hunger turned into fuel. In 2018, he launched Icon Amsterdam, a men's fashion brand built around one thing: fitted trousers that made you feel like a success, even if you weren't there yet. It was never just about the products. It was about the feeling the brand gave you. Every cent Samuel earned was reinvested back into the business, pushing it further with each step.
Every month, minimum $500,000 in profit, but most of the times it's $1 million in profit or more. And I'm mostly celebrating who I've become and how I've transformed everyone around me, my family included, my brother included, my team members included. It's just a movie right now, bro. And last year, we did 20 million in revenue, which was crazy because the year before that I was really struggling financially. Also personally, I had health issues. This year it's just been a roller coaster.
Crazy.
So of course I had to step out and celebrate.
And once the business gained momentum, Samuel brought in the one person he trusted most, his brother Ruben. Together, they scaled quickly, tapping into influencer marketing before it became the norm, launching exclusive drops and mastering paid ads. They weren't just selling clothes, they were building a movement.
Went back to Amsterdam, being put in touch with a guy who has sold businesses before, and I find out that Icon is not built to sell yet because I didn't have clear processes. I didn't have a team to run on itself, no finances, there was no P&L. Nobody's gonna buy a failing business. Nobody. Why would they, right? Shit was just crashing down, and I was waking up 4 a.m. every morning to save the business. And there was one moment that I was up 4 a.m. Ruben comes in 5 a.m. from a party. Ruben had his own dropship store in the furnishing niche, which he did like $500,000 in revenue. I grabbed Ruben to the side. I said, Ruben, I'm the one here saving the ship, and you either be the brother of, or you're gonna be the man yourself. And he said, okay, let's fucking do it. Then we have to be on the same speed. You cannot be partners and one is on 120% in and the other one is on 50%. It cannot work like that, right? And in the beginning he didn't get it, and the day after, complete switch.
100,000 months quickly turned into $2.5 million a month. The formula was working. Fitted clothing, massive sales, influencer collaborations, and relentless advertising. Icon didn't just dominate the aesthetic, it dominated the algorithm. And Samuel? He doubled down, bought a villa, moved operations overseas, expanded the product line. Icon was no longer just a Dutch startup. It had gone global. But with every new milestone, the pressure grew. Deadlines piled up. Competitors started copying every move. The cash burn surged. Samuel wasn't just running a brand anymore. He was running an empire. He and his brother began hiring fast, scaling their marketing, and chasing non-stop growth. And Samuel didn't stop at fashion. With success came influence, and with influence came opportunity. He launched a course, teaching others how to build their own e-com empires, promising freedom, passive income, and the coveted laptop lifestyle. The cost? Nearly $10,000 per student. Thousands signed up. Some struck gold. Others, not so much. But Samuel was now earning hundreds of thousands just by teaching others how to chase the dream he had already caught. Critics called it a cash grab. Supporters called it genius. Either way, it worked. Icon was booming. The course was booming. And Samuel's personal brand? On fire.
First course that we did, a dropshipping masterclass was the name of it. The course were all made based on what we were doing that time. We made many people get to know the business model dropshipping, but to really get those crazy results, it wasn't possible because of course you make videos for people, they watch it in their own time, but you don't get a real connection.
You can do so much more. You can really guide people. You can have people get shit done that they don't even knew that they could do. For me to make an extra 10K a day, it doesn't change a whole lot in my lifestyle or what I can buy. But for me to help someone to go from 0 to 10K a day is completely life-changing.
Okay, so let's start with this one-on-one coaching.
But somewhere along the climb, the story took a turn. The pressure shifted. The drive turned into obsession. Because when you build something this big, this fast, there's no pause button. Success doesn't ease the pace, it accelerates it. Until you're sprinting full speed toward a wall you never saw coming. What happens when the machine you built starts running you? Icon wasn't slowing down, it was exploding. The numbers were climbing higher than ever. The lifestyle? Louder than ever. Samuel was everywhere. Dubai rooftops, Monaco yachts, private jets. To his followers, he looked unstoppable. And maybe he felt that way too. Because when the money pours in, when fame becomes routine, and no one dares to say no, a different version of you starts to take control. He launched more campaigns, more drops, more content. He didn't just want to lead the e-com world, he wanted to own it. But beneath the surface, something had changed. Not because things were falling apart, but because they were working too well. The money flowed in so fast, so consistently, that lines began to blur. Boundaries vanished. Samuel wasn't just a brand owner anymore. He was the icon at the center of his own legend. Untouchable. Or so it seemed. Then came the silence. In March 2025, a raid at the Palm in Dubai changed everything. Samuel Onuha and his brother Ruben were arrested. The charge: drug trafficking, 250 kilos of cocaine, an estimated street value of $60 million. Authorities alleged that Icon Amsterdam wasn't just a fashion brand. It was a front, laundering money for a global smuggling operation. But beyond the official story, rumors began to swirl. Whispers of a massive party thrown on the Palm, VIP guests, luxury excess, and allegedly drugs. Lots of them. It wasn't the first party, and probably wouldn't have been the last. But this one? It drew attention. Too much attention. Some say the police were called for the noise, but when they arrived, it wasn't just loud music they found. They found drugs, a lot of them. It all sounded like fiction, until the consequences became very real. Ruben was released on bail. Samuel remained behind bars. And while their future hung in uncertainty, Icon Amsterdam kept operating. The team behind the scenes continued to run the brand, keeping it alive, even as its founder sat in a cell. But this wasn't just any arrest. This was Dubai, a place known for luxury, but even more so for its zero-tolerance laws, especially when it comes to drugs. There were no dramatic street chases. According to reports, the arrest happened quietly, inside Samuel's villa on Palm Jumeirah. Calm, controlled, but unmistakably final. A non-stop party that had stretched across days ended with flashing lights and headlines that echoed across the globe. Dubai police shared little. No press conference, no trial updates. Just a name, a charge, and the weight, 250 kilograms. Since then, no official word from Samuel, no comment from Ruben, only silence. And in that silence, the speculation only grew louder. So what happens now? How long will Samuel remain behind bars? Is this truly the fall of his empire, or just the start of a darker chapter? As of today, Samuel Onuha remains in custody. No trial date announced, no plea entered, no verdict delivered. He sits in a Dubai holding facility, far from the skyline he once ruled. As for Ruben, life has taken a quieter turn. Released on bail, he's vanished from the spotlight. No interviews, no statements, just silence. And yet, Icon Amsterdam didn't disappear. Even with both founders in custody, the brand didn't collapse. A small core team quietly stepped up, managing logistics, handling customer support, and keeping the business alive. The website stayed live, orders kept coming in, and for most customers, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Now that Ruben's out on bail, he's quietly returned, not in the spotlight, not on social media, but behind the scenes. Sources close to the brand say he's resumed a leadership role, working to steady the empire they built. But not everything carried on as before. What once appeared flawless from the outside had clearly been shaken from within. Behind the smooth-running storefront and steady logistics, a different kind of silence settled in, one that quietly signaled things were no longer business as usual. And it wasn't just the brand. Even Samuel's online course, the gateway that promised a new life to thousands, felt the impact. The program is still running. Students still get training. Mentors still show up. But one key piece is missing. The live calls with Samuel himself. The face, the voice, the energy behind it all. Those ended the day he was arrested.
When I hit my first 1K day, I immediately quitted my job. I stopped with school.
My life has completely changed.
I, from the beginning, thought 10K months was a lot. It's nothing.
It opened up my eyes.
I hang out with other people. I listen to other people. I'm in a different environment.
The amounts you could reach, like the money you could accumulate.
It was like the best decision that I had ever made in my life. And it changed my life and changed my goals, my visions.
The once buzzing social media feeds have gone silent. Influencers have stepped back. Partners haven't said a word. But how much of the story have we really seen? And how much still lies beneath the surface? The man who once sold the dream of financial freedom, now finds himself trapped in a system where no amount of money can buy it. Dubai's justice system is strict, especially when it comes to drugs. If convicted, Samuel could face decades behind bars, maybe even longer. But if he's found innocent, it raises an entirely different question. Can a man with a past like his ever return to the empire he created? And if he does walk free, what version of Samuel Onuha will the world meet? Everyone wanted to be Samuel Onuha. The watches, the views, the money. But no one saw what was coming, not even him. He sold the dream of freedom through e-commerce, and for a while, it looked like he'd hacked the system. Now, he faces a future where freedom isn't measured in dollars, but in minutes, behind bars. The internet moves fast, trends fade, founders fall. But stories like this, they linger. And for every comment that says, "Free Samuel," there's another asking the harder question. Was it ever real to begin with? What did he really build, and at what cost? This isn't just the downfall of an influencer, it's the collision of ambition and accountability. He told thousands to chase the dream, that the only limits were the ones you accepted. He preached discipline, drive, and building your own brand as the path to freedom. But now, the very discipline that built his empire is mirrored in the system that holds him behind bars. And in Dubai, breaking the rules doesn't come with a slap on the wrist. It ends the game, at least for now. Samuel's empire still runs. The website is active, orders ship, but the man behind it all is gone. Ruben, now back at the helm, faces a new kind of challenge, not building the brand from nothing, but keeping it alive without the brother who started it all. Leading without the face, the energy, the driving force that once lit the brand on fire. That's the reality Ruben faces now. And if Samuel ever walks free, he may not return to the empire he left behind. Because that world, the flashy e-com fame, the Instagram dream, it might not exist anymore. This story forces us to ask deeper questions, not just about Samuel, but about the system that built him. A world where followers mean trust, where influence is currency, and where no one asks how the money is made, as long as the lifestyle looks right. Icon Amsterdam wasn't a scam. It was a real brand. But was it also a mask? And if so, how many other influencers are wearing one too? Double lives, polished on the surface, chaos underneath. Samuel Onuha's story isn't just a headline. It's a mirror for every aspiring founder. Ambition without limits can build empires, but it can destroy them just as fast. Today, his silence speaks louder than any ad campaign. No posts, no podcasts, no tweets. Just a name that once symbolized hustle, now tangled in a system he can't control. So, what's next? A rebrand? A redemption arc? Or total disappearance? Empires rise. Empires fall. Some are never rebuilt. But maybe, just maybe, this isn't the end of Samuel Onuha. Maybe it's the beginning of whatever comes next.
Just imagine yourself, right? You're 21 years old. You just had your first massive success. You're doing about 400k a month, making consistently like 100k net profit. You moved to Dubai. You're still young. You're still reckless. You're still horny. This took a fucking turn. Until this took a turn. Not for the upside, no. What happened? Success leads to comfort. Comfort leads to failure. I was drifting. If you have read the book Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, he explains that most people are drifters, right? They're just like a feather in the wind, being blown from left to right. That was me, but I was on a high, right? Well, I didn't focus on my business no more. I just opened my laptop for 1 or 2 hours a day. Oh, I did 10,000 in revenue a day. How much profit is that? Oh, about 25%. Okay, 2,500 bucks. Let's hit the beach club. Let's hit the restaurant. Let's hit the club. I was just living life, fast life, matter of fact. Led to a downfall. tough times started. So my business was going down as well. If there's one thing that brought me a long way is just proving people wrong who doubted me. And sometimes I have like this voice in my head that people doubt me. Meanwhile, they might not even doubt me, or I have people like, you need an enemy, okay? You need an enemy to go bigger. And to me, it's been always like this me against the world mentality. So I was like, Samuel, they really have no clue what the fuck you're doing. People think you're losing.